guns, zombies, and grabbing fuck zombies, guns, and gravity-defying tits. This is High School of the Dead review. Let's go. Yo, oh wait, fuck. I'm so out of it. Come on, man. Get your damn face on. Bring it. Yo, what's up, guys? This is the Insane Game Freak here to bring you High School of the Dead review. I'm reviewing the dub, actually. I'm actually going to talk about the dub, surprisingly, a little bit more, mainly because there's a lot of differences that I want to address about the dub. But yeah, this is pretty much in itself a High School of the Dead anime review. Just to let you guys know, so people don't fucking ask me questions. The artist, there's two people working on this, but the artist for High School of the Dead is also a hentai artist, and that would explain one of the reasons why this isn't ecchi. Because this dude is just too used to drawing tits anyway. So, yeah. Anyway, so let's get into the particular, the series itself. Pretty much High School of the Dead is an anime that is pretty much a zombie attack. A zombie attack and the people dealing with the zombie attack. That's essentially what High School of the Dead is. To go through the characters, Takeshi, Rei, Seiko, Shizuka, Kota, Alice, Zero, and Saya, I believe. Not in that order, but that's the main ones, I believe. Or yeah, that's all of them. Okay, now to talk about your main is Takeshi. Takeshi's a normal high school student, just dealing with normal shit. I mean, the whole zombie outbreak, the way episode 1 actually starts off, is essentially Takeshi is moping about Rei being with his best friend Hisashi, even though he used to have a crush on her and she dumped him and he felt bad and he got depressed. And Saya is also his best friend. He's been not best friend, but been one of his friends since they were little in kindergarten. And pretty much he's moping. And he looks out, because he's skipping class, obviously. He looks out at the front gate of the school and sees a whole bunch of teachers crowding around, and then sees this random guy walking towards the front gate of the school and banging his body across the gate. And he's like, what the fuck is going on? And then one of the teachers goes over there to fuck with the guy, and the guy bites him. Essentially what happens there is the guy bites him, and he's bleeding, and he falls on the ground, and another teacher goes over to see if that person's okay, and he gets back up after being bitten. But they don't understand what the fuck is going on. And he gets back up, and he bites the lady teacher, and pretty much the zombie outbreak is now started in the schoolyard, and that's how the anime starts. The best way to put it, this anime starts in one of the most fucked up ways, but then again, it's a zombie apocalypse manga. Also, there's another thing to note about the series. In the manga, they don't call them zombies. In the manga, in the anime, they don't call them zombies, they call them them. Not totally sure why, but whatever. That's just the thing, the tagline with it. Now, the biggest things I need to address with the series is that a lot of the characters are cool. I mean, you have Takeshi, who's the main. Saya, who's like, okay, Takeshi sounds like your average kind of dude. Saya is your, I'm a genius and I'm smarter than every one of you and you all are fucking morons and you need to listen to me. Rei is like the typical needy bitch. That's what I like to call her, because she's like the only character that really gets on my nerves. Shizuka is the ditzy blonde nurse that no one likes because she barely does anything useful. Seiko is like the ridiculously badass chick with the sword, who has a little dark secret that isn't really that, shocking when you figure out what it is. Kota is your typical otaku girl, gun nerd. Alice and Zeke. Alice is a little girl, mind you, and Zeke, also named Zero in the English dub. I have no idea why they switched that name. Maybe because it's spelled Z-E-K-E, and it's a dog. And for whatever reason, they changed his name to Zero in the English dub, which isn't a big difference. It's not a huge issue with me. There's a fucking dog, and the girl's a little girl. And her little story is actually a part of the series, because Alice, I believe it's pronounced Eratsu in Japanese, which ironically they keep that name. They don't call her Alice, they call her Eratsu. her and the dogs issue comes up halfway through the series. Mind you, this is a 12-episode anime series. The manga currently is ongoing. The problem with the manga is very fucking slow. Currently there's only like 29 chapters, and there's only 7 volumes of the whole fucking series so far. So essentially, it's an ongoing series, but a very slow one. I mean, I'm giving you the rundown of the characters, and the plot's kind of basic. They're just kind of going through, getting out of the situation. You got to deal with the depravity of their minds and losing of inhibitions and common decency in certain regards. It's a whole bunch of ridiculous shit, and it's something you come to expect from zombie-based animes. Now, to say if the thing is good or not, it is good. But if you're one of those people who can't stand fan service, this is totally gonna drive you away. And I'll put it this way: if you can watch episode 6 without being really annoyed at fan service, you're probably fine. Because episode 6 is by far the most ridiculous it gets. And if anyone's seen the series, they know episode 6 is the most ridiculous it gets. It doesn't get any more crazier than that in terms of fan service. Also, if you... There's not really sex scenes. There's more like borderline kissing, like borderline pre-sex scenes, I guess is the best way to do it, where you don't see anything, but you hear like a heavy breathing and shit. If you can't handle that, don't watch this either. Mind you, as I've already told you, the drawer of the manga, which is in the same style as the anime, and the anime is in the same style, was a hentai artist, so it's not shocking there's a lot of that in there. And for people who hate the series because of that, you gotta understand, you're in a zombie apocalypse, and it's also thrown around again because of a teacher. That also brings it to another plot point I'm not gonna address because it's actually somewhat of a spoiler. When it comes to the zombie apocalypse and, you know, people just giving the fuck up in terms of common decency, and they do, and the anime shows that quite well. I mean, there's points where there are people trying to get shelter away from zombies, and other people are like, fuck them, because they're just worrying about themselves now. And then the depravity and the sex thing is just that people have lost all their inhibitions. People have lost every sense of common decency. I mean, fuck, Ray gets attacked in like the first few episodes, just because she's a girl, and just because the dude who attacked her had to kill all of his parents, and his little sister and his family who were zombies. So he was like, fuck it, I'm gonna just rape her. I don't give a shit. You know, you lose your inhibitions. The whole fan service aspect kind of appeals more than this particular situation, mainly due to the fact that in this kind of state in mind, you really don't give a fuck about anything. I mean, obviously, some of the etchiness, a lot of the etchiness isn't even playing off of that, ironically. A lot of the etchiness is just typical anime fan service. But there is some etchy points that play off there. Like, there's this little, one of the teachers, I believe his name, I don't remember his name, mainly because he's kind of a dick teacher, and I believe he dies, actually. Well, no, I don't think he dies, but he's a teacher that you're really not going to give a shit about, even though he shows up way too fucking much. Creates like this little cult following of like students, and when you cut back, and then they kind of jump away from him for like a few episodes, and then they cut back to him. The students, like all the female students, have become whores. A couple of them are lesbians, and I was just like, I see where they were going with that, but that would bug the shit out of somebody who's not used to fan service. Like if you're just getting into anime, don't fucking watch the series. Now if you like zombies and horror shit, definitely watch this series. Now I'm gonna say this right now. High School of the Dead is not scary. It's not scary on any level. It's like mixing. It has a lot of random, lighthearted humor. I mean that's really the series has like it's a zombie anime with a lot of like mix of anime-esque things along with like lighthearted humor. Now the best thing I'm going to talk about the English dub. The English dub was by Sentai Filmworks. Give me 1 second. Sentai, writing was fucking gold on this shit. I was so fucking impressed with the writing on this. And a lot of people were shocked because of some of the dub clips people have heard, like, that's good, this, alright. No, the writing is fucking gold. Fucking gold, man. I love the writing in this. And this is funny coming from a guy who hates Needless, which is another one of their fucking dubs. This dub shits on Needless. It fucking shits on it. and stabs it and kicks it and throws it in the fucking gutter. This was fucking gold writing. If there's anything, if the biggest praise I gotta give the dub, it has the best fucking writing I've seen in a while in anime. Period. At least in the ones I watch. In terms of English dubs, it's one of the best ones I've seen in a while. Mainly in terms of writing. Now, I'm not saying the dub actors are bad in this, because I do need to get on that. They're not bad, but there are points. Most characters work surprisingly well. Kota works really well, which shocked the shit out of me. Because also that's another thing. Anyone who watched the dub clips, don't take the dub clips for all their work, because honestly, when you actually watch the damn show, the voices really do work. This is a show that you can't watch clips of. You need to watch the full fucking episode. Because the series is full of fucking wind. The series goes in on like the highest caliber in terms of writing, and the dub is really good. I think most of the voices fit the characters. There are a few off moments. The biggest example of the off moment, I would say, is probably Saya. And it's not Saya as a talking voice, because her English dub voice fits her personality. It's actually when she starts crying or screaming that kind of bugs the shit out of you, because it depends on how you feel with her voice then. But the crying really irked me. Like, it didn't, I'm not going to say it didn't sound legitimate, but it seemed really awkward. Like, she either cries really awkwardly, or the English dub was just really an awkward cry. Now, now, you're probably wondering why I said the writing was fucking gold. Because the writing actually makes slight tributes to English-American zombie flicks. I mean, fuck, for God's sakes, there's a Sarah Palin reference in here. We know damn well that wasn't in the fucking Japanese version. Yes, there is some rewriting. Like people who bitch about name changes. The only name change really in here is the fucking dogs. It's the fucking dog. If you give a shit that much about a dog's name being rewritten, Jesus Christ. And oh no, they do make a lot of zombie more references. Like there's a lot of funny ass comments in here. Like there's a point in the anime where Miss Shizuka is driving the it's like a tank-ish kind of car. It's like a Humvee. And she's driving down the thing, and Kotu almost got ran over it. And Kotu makes a statement like, he's like, all these fucking zombies and man-eating monsters, and I'm gonna get run over by a fucking big boob nurse in a Humvee. I thought it was funny. And the Sarah Palin references is Kota and Takeshi are like opening up a fucking cabinet in somebody's house, and like, damn, look at all these guns. Who the fuck does she think she is, Sarah Palin? The writing is fucking gold. Like if there's one thing I have to merit about the dub itself, is the dub has like one of the funniest lines. It's like, and it acts more American in terms, but it's zombie shit. Zombie shit. To me, I think the zombie flicks kind of originated somewhat in America, at least the comical side of it anyway, because there's a lot of funny ass lines in here. And I like it flows very well. Yeah, there are a few hiccups in the dub, but not really anything that would irk the shit out of you for like, it's nothing repetitive, I'll put it that way. There's nothing repetitive, it's just something that might irk you for a second. But that's in terms of the dub. In terms of the series itself, it's really good. Now, me personally, I like the second. I read the manga, so I like the second area of the series more than I like the first area. But let me show you how good the series was. And I think half of this goes to the dub itself again. I rewatched the series I believe last night and tonight. Well, yesterday actually. Yeah, yesterday night and the day before. And I still got pumped off it. Like, there's still an adrenaline rush you'll get, because there's a whole bunch of great action sequences. The animation is fucking beautiful, and surprisingly, they have a huge mix of songs. The opening itself is alright, but grows on you after a while. But there's a variety of ending songs. I believe there's like multiple ending songs. I think some of them in English. I couldn't tell because of the way they sounded, but I think a few of them got translated. I'm not totally sure. That's a lot of fucking endings they would have to translate. But some of them feel like they were translated. I can't tell though. So don't quote me on that much. But all in all, good fucking job, Sentai. It's a good series in itself. I would also suggest checking out the manga, because I don't know there's going to be a season 2. For anyone who's wondering, there is the OVA The OVA is not on here, but then again, I don't think it really needed to be. Now, if you don't know the OVA, I mean, the OVA recently came out. Like, the OVA came out before, because the DVD, technically, the DVD I have right now doesn't come out until, I believe, the end of this month. Like, I have this early because Right Stuff is just a G. Which I also will leave the link to that in the description. And I read a news article that says the Anime Network is going to be releasing all 12 episodes in English for like a limited time, I believe, on the Anime Network. So I'll link that in the description too if you want to watch it there, or if you have an Anime Network account. But all in all, it's a really good fucking show. I enjoyed the shit out of it. The manga is really good too. I would personally, say read the manga, because I don't know if there's going to be a season 2 or not. But to me, my favorite arc is the arc they came up on at the end. Like, the end of this, you'll see them at a mall. That arc is my shit in terms of the show. I love that arc. But if you're a zombie fan, if you're an ecchi fan, if you like violence and sexy women and guns and shit, you'll love it. You'll love the series. If you have an issue with gore or tits, one, you better be a girl, or two, why are you even watching this? I mean, fuck, the title says High School of the Dead. Dead would signify a zombie flick, so if you don't like gore, don't even touch this. Gore or sex, pretty much. Those are the two things about the series you gotta be able to deal with. And as I said, the fucking Sentai dub, it's fucking win. Sentai, you have my approval on that shit. You really stepped your shit up, and I was really hoping you would, because this would turn out to be a really heavy hitter if you did it well. And if you want it on Blu-ray, link in the description for you two guys too. But that is all from me in terms of this review. This has been the Insane Game Freak. Go down, if you want to, join the Facebook page, follow me on Twitter, subscribe, favorite, comment, and all that fun shit. I'm just not used to naming out all these things you guys can do. But if you do them, awesome. We can start discussions. I'm trying to get the Facebook fan page to get a little bit more discussion oriented, which has gotten fairly better. And so, thanks. Anyways, links in the description. That's all I got to say. Tell me your thoughts on the series if you've watched it. If you haven't, go watch it. And peace. Zombies are a bitch, but I love them with big tits.